Right, so we've got a 2,000 point game here of Kharadron Overlords against Thunder Lizard Seraphon. Go through the battle plan first of all. It's survival of the fittest. There are 3 objectives. It's a very weird deployment, and we have to pick 3 predators. So my 3 predators are the Bastylodon, the Stegodon, and the Croxigore, who are inside there. I'll go through the list in a moment. And then for the Kharadron Overlords, it's the Ironclad, the Frigate, and the Thunderers. Now, the idea is you get, as in most battle plans, victory points. If you have 1 objective, you have 1 victory point. If you have 2 objectives, it's 2. If you have more than your opponent, it's 3. You get 2 for completing the battle tactic. But you also get an extra victory point if one of your predators kills one of the enemy predators as well. In terms of the list, so I've got Old Blood on Carnosaur, who is the general. I have an Engine of the Gods. I have a Bastylodon with Solar Engine, Stegodon with Skystreak Bow. 2 units of 20 skinks. They've both got blowpipes. One's got shields and daggers, I think, and the other one's just got clubs. And I've got a unit inside my Realm Shaper engine. I've got a Slan Starmaster, 10 Temple Guard, Saurus Guard rather these days, and 3 Croxigore. One has a Moonhammer. The Kharadron Overlords has things with guns. There's an Ironclad, there's a Frigate, there's an Endrin Master, who's the Warlord. He's dirigible suit, isn't he? Yep. 2 units of Engine Riggers, 2 units of Arcanaut Company, Thunderers. No, one Arcanaut Company, 1 Thunderers, 2 Engine Riggers, Gunstock, Gun Hauler, and a Frigate. Is the gun? Oh, the gun hauler's hiding at the back. Yeah. And
then there is also the Navigator and the...
Oh, Ether Chemist and a Navigator, that's correct. They're in there somewhere as well. We both had 2 drops. Obviously, I roll lowest, so I get to go first. I say get to go first, made to go first. So I get 2 command points. We'll be back after the hero phase and initial movement phase. So in the hero phase, we both tried to get a command point with our heroic action. Both failed. But my Slan did give me 2 extra command points. I'm on 4, and I'm still on 4. I've not spent any yet. The battle tactic I've chosen is the run. And it was on these 3. So the Skinks, the Engine of the Gods, and the Old Blood on Carnosaur all ran just to make sure the Skinks could get to that objective. The Bastylodon and Stegodon just moved normally, but their full movement over there. Those Skinks did run onto that objective. So I've got all 3 objectives. I'll also have the battle tactic completed. So that'll be a minimum of 5. And that's it. So we're just going to go into the shooting phase then. And I've got my beady eyes on something. We will see what happens. Right, so after the shooting phase, I ought to actually mention, I didn't actually talk in the hero phase about my casting, largely because it didn't do anything, although I did get a Mystic Shield off on my Old Blood on Carnosaur. But if after the shooting, I fired my Stegodon Skystreak Bow, well actually the Engine of the Gods first of all did all right. He rolled to do some mortal wounds, so I directed that against the Frigate, did 2 mortal wounds. Then the Stegodon fired the bow again at the Frigate. I don't think that did any damage though in the end, did it? Or did it? It might have done 1 or something. No. Then the Bastylodon fired twice, used the Thunder Lizard command ability, fired him twice. That did a further few wounds. So altogether it's 6 wounds, isn't it, on the Frigate that's been taken, which is about to be healed up. And then we will see what happens. But that would be the end of the turn, because obviously I can't get any charges in. So I've got all 3 objectives at the moment. So I get 1, 2 and more. So I get 3 points for that. I did complete the battle tactic. So I also get 2 points for that. So I'm on 5 points. We'll go into Kharadron Overlords turn 1. Right, so in the hero phase, we both gained a command point with the heroic action. Was it the Navigator that knackered my Carnosaur? Yes. Right, so my Carnosaur's now at half movement. Lovely. Everything moved quite aggressively towards everything. So there was a hero phase movement made by the Frigate, I think, wasn't it? The Ironclad, rather, and then they've just made normal movements there. And so we're about to go into the shooting phase. So we'll just scan across all the lovely Seraphon while they're still there. And then we'll be back when there'll be rather less of them there. Right, so after the shooting phase, yeah, so there was a Stegodon there. It's not there anymore. Everything else is still alive. The Bastiladon rolled quite a few ones when it's got a 1-up save. So it's lost 5 wounds. The Engine of the Gods wasn't so bad, only lost 2. We've also lost 2 skinks. So the battle tactic I didn't mention at the start, Kharadron Overlords took to kill a monster, killed a monster, it's killed a Stegodon. So that will now be completed. So that's the shooting phase. We'll be back after the charge phase has been completed. Okay, so so chargers, basically the Engine Master in dirigible suit and engine riggers charged into the skinks. They didn't fancy a charge into the Bastiladon here. In total, 8 skinks were killed, auto-passed, battle shock. I did 1 wound to an engine rigger on the way in. Unfortunately, didn't do anything in combat, never mind. So the bottom line is now, the Kharadron Overlords only have 1 objective, so it was 1 point for that, but they got 4 points for the battle tactic. The battle tactic was kill a monster, they did that, that's for 2. They did it with a predator against one of my predators, so that's an extra victory point, and then an extra victory point for killing a monster in the realm of Gur. So that was worth many victory points, so it's actually tied at 5-all. We'll go into the second battle round and hope to goodness that it is not a double turn. Right, so the Kharadron Overlords have moved. That means they got the double turn. So in the hero phase, so obviously we both rolled to try and get another command point. Neither of us succeeded. My Carnosaur is still knackered with half movement, and apparently he's supposed to think himself lucky he didn't take D3 mortal wounds as well. We've had some movement over here. So what we'll be doing is going into the shooting phase. So at the moment, we've got the Engine of the Gods. I did actually consider in the hero phase trying to heal him, but you have to roll 2d6 under their bravery, or at least equal to or under their bravery to get anything. And he's got bravery of 6 because he's basically a skink. So I elected to try and get a command point and rolled a 1, which actually would have been a useful roll to actually do the healing. So maybe, anyway. So it'll be the shooting phase next. So again, a little scan round so we can guess where there's going to be a hole next. And then we'll be back after then, just before the charge phase. Right, so at the end of that turn, obviously there's now very little left. The Bastiladon died. The Engine of the Gods died, a load of skinks died. All of those skinks over there are dead as well, although they did tank quite a bit. There were no more shots to anything inside the Realm Shaper engine. So it was 3 points for the primary because holding 1, 2 and more. And 3 points for the battle tactic. Well, 2 points for the battle tactic plus another one again for killing a monster this battle round. So that's on now, what, 11 for the Kharadron Overlords to 5 for Seraphon. So I'll go into my turn 2. Tricky, but we will be back in a moment. So after the hero phase and the movement phase, so in the hero phase first, the Realm Shaper engine did do a number of mortal wounds to the ships around that terrain. The Slan did get Comet's Call off this time and did some more mortal wounds. So we've got 6 wounds taken on the Ironclad, indeterminate numbers on the other ones, that may or may not matter. I heal the Temple God. I completely forgot I have the Burning Head waiting. I forgot to cast that. I cast a Mystic Shield on my Croxigor. Maybe I should have done it on him. Never mind. Because I've piled out with everything now. This is Death or Glory. I'm really not sure. The skinks have run there. They've surrounded that. The Old Blood on Carnosaur he could only move 5. He's as far as he can get, but he's got a 6-inch charge potentially there. And I've given myself +1 to run and charge. So it's +1 to charge. So the charges I should be able to get in. At the end of the day, what I'm hoping for, I'm still trying to think if my tactic was to kill a battle line unit as well. I'm really just thinking here, kill what I can, hope I get a double turn. Otherwise, I don't see how to win this game. And even then, I'm still not sure how feasible it is. But we will see what happens. It will be the shooting phase first, and then I'll have a very small shooting phase, so I'll just do the shooting and the charge phase together. Right, so what did we do? I've forgotten. We had a shooting phase, that's correct. The actual shooting with my Old Blood on Carnosaur didn't actually do anything, but his relic did. It caused at least a couple of mortal wounds, I forget now. Then we did the charge phase, so everything got its charge in, everything had +1/2 charge. In the event, I don't think anything actually needed the +1, so, but I really need to make sure of it. And I've properly gone in gung-ho. Kharadron Overlords shot back, they've killed well, in combination with the command ability to shoot, as well as the just apparently Kharadron Overlord's ability to shoot with a big gun, a Kroxigor is dead, another is on 2 wounds. And then there's going to be bombs dropped apparently, which I'm not going to enjoy, in the combat phase in a moment. I'm just trying to think. Oh yes, yeah, so then I did a stomp with my monstery thing on the frigate, so that took another 3 mortal wounds, I believe, so it's 10. So it's got 4 left. I should be able to kill that now. But at the same time, the problem is, of course, I have virtually no rend on anything. It'll be up against quite a lot of save, but we'll be back. We'll be back at the end of the turn, actually, and we'll see what happened. So after that turn, into battle round 2, not bad. The Kroxigor, I like this Kroxigor with the Moonhammer. There's only one left, unfortunately, because it has a number of attacks equal to how many models within 2 inches. And there's a lot of models on the Ironclad. That was 16 attacks. So it did do a reasonable amount of damage on the Ironclad. The Old Blood on Carnosaur just about killed the frigate, so the Arcanaut Company have piled out there. In terms of other things, the engine riggers down there, one is still alive, unfortunately. The Ironclad basically's got like 5 wounds left. Not much did much else. The Kroxigor, the remaining Kroxigor is on only 2 wounds left. I've completed the battle tactic and with a monster, so I got 3 points for the battle tactic. I have 2 objectives, so I hold 2 and more, so 3 points for that. So at the moment it's even. Yeah, it's really going to come down to who gets to go next, I feel, even though, yeah, I think it's going to come down to who goes next. I could really do with a double turn in return for missing out on the well, having the double turn against me last time. But we will see what happens. We will be back. If that frigate, if that Ironclad has moved, all is not well. The Ironclad has moved. That means I did not get the double turn. But never mind. So it's healed for a load, as it would. That's the problem. So it's moved away. The Arcanaut Company have moved around there. The whatchamacallit's moved there. I can't move my Carnosaur away because apparently it's still within 3 inches of that engine rigger that really I should have put more effort into killing, but I probably still wouldn't have done anyway, but who knows. The Warlord has moved over there. Those are stuck in combat, so they've stayed there. Those 2 have technically sort of moved out of combat there. So we'll be in the shooting phase in a moment, and then we'll come back after that. Right, so after the shooting phase, you know, as predicted, each shooting phase has always caused a lot of carnage. So all that's actually left, 2 Saurus Guard and these little, you know, half a dozen, just over half a dozen, maybe 7 skinks there. So we're going to go into the charge phase and then see what happens then. So we're at the end of the turn now, just for the admin, so everything else is basically wiped out. We just have those skinks left in the combat phase. So in terms of the scores, so Kharadron Overlords got 1 for the primary because, you know, I don't know whether I said start of the battle round I get to remove an objective. Obviously I moved the one there, so there's just that one left which they've got. I have that one, so it's just 1 victory point for that. 3 for the battle tactic, because it's really 2 for the battle tactic for capturing an objective that I previously held, plus 1 for killing a monster. So what does that put everything on? That would be 11, 15 there against my 11. I mean, in my turn, all I can do is have that. There's no way to get any other battle tactics at all. There's none that's even mathematically possible, of course, with 1 unit left. This is the problem with the double turn. If someone gets a double turn, particularly near the start, obviously, unless if it's at all even then, you know, that's just going to be it. There was a possible ray of hope if I'd have got the next double turn. So if I'd have had the double turn in this battle round, it was still difficult because the frigate still had 5 wounds left. The ironclad, sorry, had 5 wounds left. It wasn't straightforward to get my Carnosaur to it. It had some attacks that could reach 2 inches, but I'm not sure I could have done. So it would have all been down to the Croxigor and the Saurus Guard. They may have been able to. It was possible, certainly possible. Therein lay the hope. You know, destroy the ironclad, basically just have a load of infantry around here, tie them up, have the Saurus Old Blood on Carnosaur, because at that point he can then run into things. He can eat whatever is going to do the most damage in the shooting phase, because it's the shooting phase that does the damage here. And it may have been a tighter game, but unfortunately there it is. You know, this is why it is absolute insanity that Games Workshop think that somehow the double turn is fine and that somehow people want to go first. This has never happened. You will never see this on this channel, that someone will go, oh, I'll tell you what, I'll have the first turn. But there it is. That's the situation there. We'll be back next week with 40k. We don't know which armies yet, but never mind. That's what depends on if something else arrives. Hope you found it enjoyable. If you did, don't forget to click the like button. And until next time, we'll see you later.